What's up everyone? This will be a quick guide on how to get all the Druid runes in Season of Discovery Phase 2. Let's jump right into it. First up, we have the Feral's Best in Slot Belt rune, Berserk. When activated, this buff lasts for 15 seconds and it's a huge DPS increase. In bear form, it gets rid of the cooldown for Mangle, while also giving it the ability to hit up to 3 targets at once, so Ferals should be using this when AoEing large packs. And in cap form, it reduces the cost of all your abilities by 50%. Additionally, it also clears the effects of fear from your character and makes you immune for the duration, but it can only be activated while shifted. To get it, first head over to the border of Shimmering Flats, coordinates 6855-ish, where you'll find a beastly effigy. Cast Challenging Roar by this statue and it'll spawn a level 28 elite mob named Zyenki. He has 3400 health, so if you're doing this at a lower level, you just might want to group up. Once you down him, he drops something called the Idol of the Heckler. Equip this and it wants you to use Challenging Roar to taunt 2 or more enemies and then kill at least one of them within the time period of them being taunted. Some notes: you have to be the one who gets the killing blow, they have to be at least green to you, so no gray mobs, and it all resets if you die, so just try to do this in a bit of a safer area. The annoying thing is Challenging Roar's 10-minute cooldown, but it's not very difficult. Just group the enemies up while whittling them down until you're confident you can secure kills shortly after using Challenging Roar. Took me about 30 minutes, but once you have the 5 charges, click the idol, and the Berserk rune is yours. Next on the list is the Boots rune Survival Instincts. This is a great boost to your survivability, which can be extremely helpful in both PvE and PvP. When activated, it grants you 30% of your maximum health for 20 seconds. After the effect expires, you lose that health, and you can also use this in any form. Additionally, every time you dodge, you regenerate 5 rage, 10 energy, or 1% of your maximum mana, depending on which form you're in, so use this when you expect to be on the receiving end of a lot of damage. To get this one, you're going to head on over to the Swamp of Sorrows, coordinates 2554-ish, and you're going to talk to an NPC named Amaryllis Webb, where you'll purchase an entomology starter kit from her. Open it up to reveal a bug catching net and a field guide. Take that net on over to the Stranglethorn Vale Ventrico logging camp around coordinates 4519. There's a tree stump. Hunters also do this, so there might be a little bit of competition. I just had a friend Laramie, and lo and behold, the bug showed up. After that, make your way to the Arathi Highlands to a stable at Northfold Manor, coordinates 3128, to capture the second bug, a hay weevil. Gotcha. And finally, you'll travel to the Kodo Graveyard in Desolus, where, at around 5159, you'll find yourself the last bug you need, a little flesh picker. Upon returning these 3 to Amaryllis, you'll be rewarded with your Survival Instincts rune. Next one's quick. Dreamstate is a boot rune that causes your spell critical strikes to grant you 50% of your mana regeneration while casting for 8 seconds, while also increasing nature damage dealt to the target for 12 seconds. To get this one, you're going to want to head to Desolus to kill Centaur around 7047-ish until they drop an item called the Desiccated Seed Pod. One note, I got mine from a mauler, so it does drop from mobs other than just the Centaur. Run down south and jump in a pond to water the seed, and then run northeast to Sargeron, where you'll plant it in an earth spot around 7520. Click the blooming Satyweed that spawns, and you've got yourself the Rune of the Dreamer that will teach you how to engrave your feat slot with Dreamstate. The belt slot for the balance spec is Eclipse, where Starfire increases the critical strike chance of your next 2 Wraths by 30%, and Wrath reduces the cast time of your next Starfire by 1 second, with both effects stacking up to 4 charges. Both spells also gain a 70% chance at all times to not lose casting time when taking damage. Start this one at the same time as you get your Dreamstate rune, as you'll already be in Desolus, where you'll need to head over to coordinates 4754 to interact with the Extinguished Campfire in order to get the quest Highway Robbery. Turn it in to Bibbly Futzbuckle at Cormac's Hut northeast around 6339-ish and pick up the quest On the Lamb. Then trek all the way to Booty Bay, where you'll meet Tokal in the bar at the inn. She'll ask you to buy her some cherry glog, which you can purchase for around 4 silver from Nixrax's Philamug a few feet away. Upon returning this to her, she'll give you the quest No Honor Among Thieves, which will take us to the area between Wetlands and Arathi Highlands. Jump down into the water and swim to the rowboat at 5391-ish, interact with this boat, and you'll get ported to the eastern shore. Walk to the dock and speak to Ilari Duskfeather. If you're a Night Elf, you do have an option that'll make her give you the key peacefully, but if you're any other race, you'll have to fight her in order to loot the key. Close by, there's a chest that, upon opening, will give you your Eclipse rune. The next 2 are a lot more in depth, and one of them is currently bugged, making it that much more difficult. The first of the two is Feral's new damage-focused boot rune, King of the Jungle, which causes Tiger's Fury to now increase all physical damage that you deal by 15% instead of by a flat value, and it also acts as a sort of Thistle Tea, immediately granting you 60 energy. So using this in tandem with power shifting and Berserk really makes for some great burst damage. The quest chain for the rune is one that all classes have to do for one of their own. Make your way to Deadwind Pass, east of Duskwood and west of Swamp of Sorrows, and speak to the Dalaran agent at Aradin's camp located at 5235. They'll give you a trinket called Aradin's Sigil, which has an on-use effect that compels a Dark Rider to reveal itself. The Dark Riders in question are scattered across Azeroth and not visible until you use the trinkets. The way that you know you're in proximity is a pair of red eyes will spawn on top of you, and you'll receive a buff called Dark Presence. Upon getting the buff, use the trinket and an elite level 41 Dark Rider will spawn with 12,500 health. If you're in a group and people spam their trinkets together, multiple will spawn at the same time, so just keep that in mind for safety. Once you have all 7, return to Arden's camp and turn them in. Open the supply bag, and there's your rune. Our 6th and final rune is Nourish. The unfortunate thing about Nourish is it's currently bugged, both the process of getting the rune and the actual ability itself. There's some weird interaction with receiving the honorless target debuff that causes you to fail the quest. So I'll do my best to explain how you get the rune without failing, but after failing myself 4 times and not ever playing Resto, I decided to throw in the towel until I get the odd strike of inspiration or Blizz fixes it. Kill the Rotting Ancient in Dustwallow Marsh and loot the Rotten Seed item, teleport to Moonglade and speak to Orakai, who will give you the Lost Saplings quest. This sets off an hour-long timer where you have to go to 4 locations to find ancient saplings and use the Water of Alunara item that is in your bags on them. People much smarter than me in the Druid Discord wrote routes for Alliance and Horde that should work. Things like logging off during boat rides and not flying to a territory that would give you the honorless target debuff makes this a lot more complicated than it should be. If it works for you, congratulations. You now have a bugged rune that doesn't work for rejuve or regrowth. And there you have it. Hope this was a helpful guide and that you're enjoying your time in Phase 2 so far. I cleared Gnomer with my guild, my friend figured out how to get the epic crafting items and I have the drops from Gnomer to do it, and I've been running the Blood Moon event. So, I'm planning on making a generic strategy guide for Gnomeregan, maybe one on the crafted epics, and then more specialized guides for Druid PvE and PvP. I'm really happy how Druids are performing at the moment. Let me know if there's anything else you'd like to see in the comment section below. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you want to support me in this fun side project, subscribe to the channel, and I look forward to hopefully seeing you guys again on my next video. Peace.